Welcome to the video lecture on joint displacement of determinate truss that we study in the subject Mechanics of Structure. So to find out the joint displacement of determinate truss, Castiglione's first theorem is used. So according to Castiglione's first theorem, in any beam or truss subjected to any load system, the deflection at any point R is given by the partial differential coefficient of total strain energy stored with respect to force PR acting at point R in the direction in which deflection is desired. Means simply, if you want to find out the displacement of a joint at any joint in the truss, then that displacement is equal to partial differential of total strain energy with respect to given force. So to analyze the determinate truss, we can use the Castiglione's theorem. So figure shows the truss subjected to an external load system W1, W2, W3. Let it be required to find out the deflection at joint C. So YC be the deflection at joint C. And because of these external loads, the forces developed in the truss are P1, P2, P3, P4. So P1, P2, P3, P4 be the forces in the various member of the structure due to given external load system. So let the total external work done will be the WE, and the total strain energy stored by the structure, which is equal to summation of Pi square into Li divided by 2 into Ai into E, which is nothing but total strain energy stored by the axial member. As we know that all the member forces in the truss are axial force members, so the total strain energy stored by the material or by the structure is summation of Pi square into Li divided by 2 into Ai into E, where I stands for 1, 2, 3, 4, means L1, L2, L3, L4 are lengths of the member of the structure, and A1, A2, A3, A4 are the cross-sectional area of the various member, and E is the Young's modulus of the material of the member. So we have work done is equal to energy stored. So WE is equal to summation of Pi square into Li divided by 2 into Ai into E, which is nothing but work done stored because of external load, which will be equal to strain energy stored by the material. Now next step is that let now given external load system be removed and let unit load is applied at joint C where deflection is to be computed. Means you can see in this diagram all the external loads are removed from the structure and only the unit load is applied in the vertical direction at C to find out the vertical deflection of this joint C. So let the forces in the member of the structure due to unit load will be K1, K2, K3. So because of this unit load, definitely there is a development of forces in all the member of the truss, and that forces are K1, K2, K3 or respectively K4, K5. So let the deflection caused by the unit load C be delta YC. So work done because of that unit load which is applied gradually to this point C will be equal to work done because of the gradually load will be half into force into displacement. So half into 1 is the unit load into displacement is delta YC, and the strain energy stored is equal to summation of Ki square into Li divided by 2 into Ai into E. And we know that work done is stored in the member in the form of strain energy. So this work done is equal to half into 1 into delta YC is equal to strain energy stored, that is summation of Ki square into Li divided by 2 into Ai into E. Now as the structure is carrying the unit load at C, let the given external load system be applied on the structure with this unit load, then definitely the forces in the member of the structure will now be the P1 plus K1, comma P2 plus K2, comma P3 plus K3, and goes on. So the total work done will be equal to WE, that is work done because of external force, plus half into 1 into delta YC, that is work done because of unit load, plus 1 into YC, that is work done because of the applied unit load on the whole structure, that is YC, that is at joint C. then the total strain energy stored will be equal to, the change in the equation will be the summation of the two forces, means extra forces developed in the member of the truss because of external load, that is P forces, and K forces, that is forces in the member of the truss because of unit load applied. So the total strain energy equation becomes summation of Pi plus Ki whole square into Li divided by 2 into Ai into E. Now we can again apply this total work done. We know that total work done is equal to total strain energy. So this total work done we can equate to the total strain energy, that is We plus half into 1 into delta Yc plus 1 into Yc is equal to summation of Pi plus Ki whole bracket square into Li divided by 2 into Ai into E. Now we can just elaborate this term, that is Pi plus Ki whole bracket square. We can elaborate into A plus B whole bracket square, that is first term comes to be summation of Pi square into Li divided by 2 into Ai into E plus B square, that is summation of Ki square into Li divided by 2 into Ai into E plus 2AB, that is summation of Pi Ki Li divided by Ai into E. 2 get cancelled. But if you observe this equation, WE, we know that it's an external load, or sorry, external work done, and that external work done, we know that it's a summation of Pi square into Li divided by 2 into AIE. This middle term, that is summation of Ki square into Li divided by 2 into Ai into E, is nothing but the work done because of unit load. And the third stage, that is summation of Pi into Ki into Li divided by Ai into E, is nothing but then that is displacement at joint C, or because of whole forces. So 1 into Yc is equal to summation of Pi into Ki into Li divided by Ai into E. So that's all about the analysis of joint displacement of determinate truss. So we again discuss the procedure to find out the joint displacement by unit load method. Sometimes this Castiglione's theorem is nothing but the unit load method to find out the joint displacement. So hence method involves the following process. First is, for the given load system, the forces in the various member of the structure will first determine, and let these forces named as a P1, P2, P3, or we can call P forces. Then the given load system is removed, means all the external forces are removed from the structure and unit load is applied at the joint where the deflection is desired, and now name that forces K1, K2, K3, or we can call K forces. Then the deflection at the joint is given by the summation, which is equal to Y is equal to summation of Pi, Ki, Li divided by Ai into E. And this summation may be made by entering the quantities called as P1, P2, P3, K1, K2, K3, I1, I2, I3, which is called the moment of inertia of the member, then A1, A2, A3, and L1, L2, L3, that is lengths of the member, in the tabular form as shown in the following table. So we can tabulate the quantities like this. First is the column refers to member, then second is for P forces, third one is K forces, then fourth one is length of the member, fifth one is the area of the member, and the last one is the summation term, means summation of, or we can say simple PKL upon A. And then after that we can find out here total force, means we can just take a summation of this column, then we'll get this summation of Pi, Ki, Li divided by Ai into E. That's terminology we get from the last column, divided by the whole, that whole term to the E, you will get the displacement at the respective joint. So that is a general procedure to find out the joint displacement by Castiglione theorem, or we can call it as a unit load method also. So let us discuss now the numerical that we can solve by the Castiglione's theorem or unit load method. Find the vertical and horizontal deflection of the joint C of the truss shown in the figure. The area of the inclined tie is 2000 mm square, while the area of the horizontal member is 160 mm square. Take E is equal to 200 kN per mm square. This is the respective truss given for the analysis. So this is a cantilever truss ABC. one external load is applied at joint C. The BC distance is 4 meter, AB distance is 3 meter. So angle is theta is equal to 36.86. Now we have to find out the vertical and horizontal deflection of the joint C by the unit load method. So in that, first let us determine the forces in the member due to the given load, which is known as P forces, means forces developed in the member of the truss because of external load only. So consider the joint C first, because at joint C these two members are connected commonly, so we'll consider first joint C. So by my method of joint will solve this numerical. So by considering the joint C, showing the member forces PCA, PCB and the external load applied at this external load acting at this joint C. So there are three forces which are concurrent. We can apply the conditions of equilibrium. That is, first condition is summation of phi is equal to 0. So by applying this condition, summation of phi is equal to 0 for the joint C, PCA sin 36.86 in the upward direction, so it is plus, then minus 120 is equal to 0. Then you will get the PCA is equal to 200 kilonewton. So positive value, it means that our assumption for PCA is correct. We assumed in the tensile direction and we got the positive sign. So PCA correct nature is tensile. Then after that, summation of x is equal to 0 minus PCA cos 36.86 minus PCB is equal to 0. So the value of PCB comes to be minus 160 kilonewton. Again, minus indicates that our assumption is wrong. We assume the PCB in the tensile nature, but we got the negative sign. It means that PCB's value is 160 kilonewton, which is compression in nature. So this is all about the P forces. Now let us, to find out the vertical deflection at a joint C, let us apply the unit load at joint C or at point C in the vertical downward direction. So you can see in this diagram, I have removed the external load and I have applied here unit load in the vertical downward directions to find out the joint displacement of C in the vertical downward directions. So let us determine the forces in the member due to the given load, which is called as a K forces. So again, consider the joint C here, and the member forces is then called as KCA, KCB, and this unit load which is acting in the downward direction. So summation of phi is equal to 0. By applying the summation of phi to this joint C, the KCA is acting in the upward direction, means vertical component of KCA is acting in the upward direction, so it is plus KCA sin 36.86, and this minus 1 is equal to 0. Then KCA comes to be 1.66 kilonewton positive. It means that again the assumption for KCA is correct. We assume it tensile nature and we got the positive signs. So KCA is tensile. Then second equation is summation of x is equal to 0. Then it will be equal to minus KCA cos 36.86 minus KCB is equal to 0. Then the value of KCB comes to be minus 1.333. Minus indicates that the nature for KCB is wrong. We assume it tensile nature, but we got a negative sign. So KCB is compressive. So by computing all these values in the tabular form, we have members CA and CB at the joint C. The P forces in the member CA is 200, CB is minus 160. The K forces respective is this 1.66 minus 1.32. Length of the member CA is 5000 mm and CB is 4000. Area is 2000 and for CB it is 1600. Then by doing this PKL by A calculation for the CA member is 833.33 and for CB member is this 533.33. Then by taking the summation total of these two members, summation of PKL upon A, because to find out the displacement we have the formula 1 upon E summation PKL upon A. So we have the value, then directly 13660 divided by 200, we got the displacement in the vertical direction at joint C is 6.83 mm. Now next is to find out the horizontal deflection at joint C. Let us apply unit load at point C in the horizontal direction. Let us determine the forces in the member due to this given horizontal unit load, that called as again K forces. So here there is a change, that I removed all the external loads and I have applied the unit load in the horizontal direction at joint C because we want to find out horizontal deflection of joint C. Then again FBD is same. that the member forces are KCA, KCB, and this is one unit load acting in the negative directions. So summation Fy is equal to 0 for this FBD. So it will be equal to KCA sine 36.86 is equal to 0, which is then KCA comes to be 0. And the second condition is summation Fx is equal to 0. So minus KCA cos 36.86 minus KCB, and this minus 1 is equal to 0. So KCB comes to be minus 1 kilonewton. Again, minus indicates that our nature for KCB is wrong. We assume it tensile in nature, but we got the negative sign. It means that KCB is compression in nature. Again, by computing this all the result in the tabular form, all the members forces, P forces, K forces, length of the member, area of the member, and the PKL by A term. So first term comes to be 0 because the K forces for the CA member is 0, and the second second term for the CB member comes 400. So the summation of that PKL by A terms 400. Then the horizontal displacement at joint C is equal to 1 upon E summation PKL upon A. So summation of PKL upon A is 400, 400 divided by 200. Then the displacement of joint C in the horizontal direction comes to be 2 mm. So that's all about the numerical of truss, where you have to find out the joint displacement in horizontal or vertical direction by the unit loader method, or we can say called Castigliano's first theorem. Thank you.